Two high school friends mysteriously disappeared and have been missing for 21 years. Despite years of investigation, the police have found no solid clues and have now turned to the public for help.
Oh, okay. That's 100% a car right in front of my face.
Then, a popular YouTuber came all the way over to look into the case. Surprisingly, it only took him 2 days to uncover the truth behind a mystery that had remained unsolved for years. As it turns out, the reason the truth took so long to come out was a shocking human mistake. Two high school friends, just about to graduate, mysteriously disappeared along with their car after a graduation party. The police tried everything. They followed countless leads, but still couldn't find a single trace. Their families never stopped hoping, but they ended up waiting for a whole 21 years. Just when it seemed like the case would never be solved, something completely unexpected happened. A YouTuber and amateur investigator, all the way from hundreds of kilometers away, actually solved this decades-old mystery with just some basic, not-so-professional gear. And the way he did it? It's shocking. On Monday, April 3, 2000, Erin Foster and Jeremy Betchel, two high school friends, went to a classmate's party. Mondays aren't really party nights because school's the next morning, but for Erin, Jeremy, and the rest of the seniors, it didn't really matter. Most of them already knew if they'd been accepted to college, and the school had pretty much loosened up on the rules. That night's party was just another one of the pre-graduation hangouts and celebrations for Erin, Jeremy, and their friends. Erin and Jeremy had been best friends since they were kids, both born in 1982. Erin was a few months older, and they both went to White County High in Sparta, Tennessee. They'd never officially dated, but classmates said they might have already been seeing each other. Just after 10 that night, Jeremy and Erin left the party together, with Jeremy hopping into Erin's car. It was a black 1988 Pontiac Grand Am, a used car her dad had given her soon after she got her license. Their friends watched them drive off, never imagining it would be the last time anyone saw Erin and Jeremy. Erin was pretty independent and kind of a tomboy under her sweet looks. She dreamed of becoming an airplane mechanic. She'd just turned 18 and had even started talking with her parents about moving out on her own. Her parents knew she could take care of herself, and she normally let them know if she was staying out late. So when Erin didn't come home that night, especially with a guy, they started to get worried. By the next evening, they were getting really worried. Erin's dad, Cecil, called everyone he could think of, but all he could find out was that Erin and Jeremy had left the party together around 10 p.m. After that, there was nothing. After talking with Jeremy's parents, Erin's family decided to call the police. At first, the police didn't take the case too seriously. They figured, based on experience, that the two teens had probably just run off over some relationship stuff. Jeremy's dad, Ronnie, later told the media that the police didn't even check Erin and Jeremy's rooms or talk to anyone else who had been at the party. Days went by. Erin and Jeremy still didn't show up or contact their families, and fear quickly turned into panic. How could two happy, healthy teens and a car just disappear like that? The police finally started taking the case seriously and launched a massive search. They went through the area around the party, checking everywhere. They didn't find any reports of accidents or anything unusual, and nobody knew what had happened to the car or the two teens. They figured the car might have ended up in the water, so they brought in divers and used sonar to search the nearby ponds and streams. They even checked every drain, well, and borehole around, but still found nothing. In Sparta, a tiny town of just over 4,000 people, the case quickly got people talking and spreading rumors. Most of them weren't true, but they spread fast. Some people thought they might have run off that night, maybe even to get married, since young love can make you do silly things. But both families said Erin and Jeremy had never been told not to see each other, and they hadn't taken any stuff or money with them. Some even said they'd gotten into drugs and were attacked that night. Erin and Jeremy were good kids and close with their families, so there was no way they'd get mixed up in anything illegal. People came up with other wild ideas too, like robbery or kidnapping or revenge from an ex. But over time, all of these turned out to be wrong. Days went by, and sometimes there were clues, but they never led anywhere. Both families kept going through all the pain. Erin's mom, Lee, even quit her job because she couldn't deal with everyone always talking about the case. Her dad said that to get through the grief, he started using drugs and drinking every night. Jeremy's mom, Rhonda, was so overwhelmed that she ended up in the hospital. As the years passed, the case went cold. Then, in 2005, someone said they had seen Erin living and working in Pensacola, Florida, which gave her parents a bit of hope. But when the local police looked into it, they found it was just a blonde girl who looked a lot like Erin. Erin's parents lost hope again. In 2006, Jeremy's mom, Rhonda, sadly passed away from cancer. Before she died, she gave the police Jeremy's DNA sample. She said she and her husband didn't believe their son was still alive. They just hoped that if the police ever found his remains, they could identify him through DNA. But Erin's parents believed their daughter was still alive and refused to give the police her DNA sample. As the case moved into its second decade, there were still no suspects. People slowly started to forget about it, and both families began to think they might never know what really happened. Then in 2018, 18 years after the disappearance, a police officer named Steve Page, who had worked on the case before, became the sheriff of White County. He still wanted answers for Erin, Jeremy, and their families, so he reopened the investigation soon after taking office. Sheriff Page didn't rule out the chance that the two might still be alive. Investigators created age-progressed images of what Erin and Jeremy might look like at 35 or 36 and shared them online and with the media in hopes that someone might recognize them. While going through the old case files, they found something important that had been overlooked for years. It was a missing person report from Erin's family. Earlier, we said the investigation mostly looked around the party. The party was on the west side of Sparta, almost on the opposite side of town from Erin's house. But the missing person report showed something surprising. After leaving the party around 10 p.m., Erin didn't go straight home. She drove to pick up her younger brother, Will, who was at a friend's house, and then she dropped him off at home. Erin still wanted to stay out a little longer with Jeremy, so she asked her mom if it was okay, and her mom said yes. After that, Erin drove off again, this time just with Jeremy. So the party wasn't actually the last place Erin and Jeremy were seen. Erin's mom and her brother Will confirmed it in the report they gave the police. This mistake by the police would end up changing the whole direction of the investigation. Sheriff Page said this report should have been the first one in the case, but it got misplaced. Because of that, the original investigation focused on the area around the party and nearby crimes. On top of that, all the rumors at the time completely threw the police off track. When the report was finally found, the investigation quickly moved in a new direction. But almost 20 years had passed since the disappearance, and any clues that might have been there were long gone, lost over time and with all the changes in the city. Sheriff Page still believed Erin and Jeremy, who were always close to their families, had no reason to run away. There was no way they could have gone 20 years without reaching out. He was sure something bad had happened to them. He couldn't understand how they had been in a car, something so big it couldn't just disappear. He decided the investigation should start by finding the car. After thinking it through, he figured the most likely place it could have ended up and never been properly searched was the river near Erin's house that runs through Sparta. He thought the car might have gone off the road and sunk to the bottom. The problem was that searching the whole river would take a lot of time and resources. For a small-town police department with a small budget, reopening a case from 20 years ago was really hard. Just as Sheriff Page was running out of ideas, a group called Adventures with Purpose caught his eye. They're volunteer divers who also help with cold cases, using sonar to search rivers and lakes for missing people and cars that sank. The group Adventures with Purpose brought new hope to the case. Sheriff Page realized they might be exactly the help he needed. By then, the group had already helped with several missing person cases and had gained millions of followers online by sharing videos of their searches. Most of their funding came from their videos and donations from supporters. So Sheriff Page reached out to them and shared the case online, hoping more groups or people like them would step in to help. Not long after that, Adventures with Purpose reached out to an independent cold case investigator and YouTuber named Jeremy Sides to look into the case. Jeremy soon got in touch with Sheriff Page. After a phone call with him, he decided to drive more than 3 hours from his home in Ackworth, Georgia to Sparta. He brought his search equipment and offered to help the White County Police search for answers in the case. At first, following Sheriff Page's suggestion, Jeremy searched a few spots near where the party had been on April 3rd. Even though Sheriff Page didn't think it was the right area and police had already searched it 20 years earlier, he still wanted Jeremy to check again just to be sure. In the end, Sheriff Page was right. Jeremy didn't find Erin's Pontiac in that area. After talking again, Sheriff Page told Jeremy he believed the car most likely ended up in the Calfkiller River, which runs through Sparta and is the closest river to Erin's house. By then, sonar technology had already become pretty common, especially among people who like fishing. Small sonar devices costing anywhere from a small amount to a few $100s can help fishermen detect water depth and locate fish. Jeremy used a sonar device too, but his was a more advanced one that cost a few $1,000s and gave clearer, more accurate readings. With that equipment and a basic inflatable fishing boat, Jeremy had already helped solve 9 missing person cases in just 3 years. It proved that new technology and basic tools could help investigators solve old cases. Jeremy arrived at a boat ramp on the Calfkiller River and launched his inflatable fishing boat again. The river is 68 kilometers long and runs through 3 counties in Tennessee, but the part in Sparta is less than 10 kilometers. It's also very narrow, only about 9 meters at its narrowest, which made searching easier. Jeremy moved slowly along the river. His sonar showed the water was about 13 feet deep, about 4 meters deep. The bottom didn't have many plants and was very muddy. After 30 minutes, a shape showed up on the sonar that looked like a car.
Whoa. That's okay. That's 100% a car right in front of my face. Didn't expect that. Didn't expect that a bit.
There was no doubt it was a small car. To be sure, Jeremy went over the spot a few times. He knew from experience it was definitely a car.
You can almost tell the shape of it. I'm not going to say what kind of car it looks like because I know what kind of car I want it to be. It's got a short trunk and it's got a long nose, but if that's Erin and Jeremy's car, then that's going to be super huge. Like I said, we're running out of daylight right now, so we're going to have to come back and dive this probably tomorrow.
Jeremy marked the spot on his sonar. It was getting late, so he decided to dive the next day. Early in the morning, he came back to the river. When his boat was over the car, he dropped a strong magnet with a rope attached. The magnet stuck to the river bottom, and he tied the rope to a tree so he could go down and come back up safely. The water was only 5 degrees, so Jeremy went back to his camper to put on a dry suit and diving gear. He slowly got into the water and followed the rope. He saw the car covered in mud and slimy green stuff. His guess was right. It had been underwater for years. It was an exciting moment. Next, he needed to check the license plate to see if it was Erin's car, number 473 EJR.
It's them. It's them.
When Jeremy read the license plate, 473 EJR, he couldn't hide his excitement. It was November 30, 2021, more than 21 years after April 3, 2000. It wasn't the ending anyone hoped for, but after 7,911 days, there was finally an answer to the Erin and Jeremy case. Sheriff Page had been right. The answer came far too late. Jeremy could barely see human remains inside the car. He carefully took off the license plate and planned to bring it back to shore. As he came up to the surface, he said,
They're coming home. They're coming home.
Jeremy went back to shore and called Sheriff Page right away to tell him the news.
Hello,
Hey, is this Sheriff Page?
it is.
Hey, this is Jeremy. I don't have an easy way to say it, but I found him.
What?
Swear to God, I just dove the car. I got the tag.
You sure it's the car?
I dove it. I confirmed. Pontiac Grand Am. All the windows are up. Looks like they went around the corner and lost control and went off into the river.
Oh my God. You know how big this is? This is the case of a lifetime for me and you.
Awesome. I'm glad I could help.
Don't make any more phone calls.
Okay.
Stay right there. I'm on my way to you.
Okay.
All right, brother. Bye.
Right, see ya.
Not long after, Sheriff Page arrived and gave Jeremy a big hug.
Oh my God. I'm calling dispatch right now to run this tag.
Okay.
He then called dispatch to confirm the license plate belonged to Erin Foster's Pontiac. After that, they contacted Erin's family, and more people arrived to help. Divers brought the remains out of the car to the shore, and later a crane lifted the car out of the water. After forensic testing, police confirmed the remains were Erin Foster and Jeremy Betchel, the two missing teenagers. They also determined it was an accident. The car had gone off the road and into the river, and both of them drowned. The surprising thing was, the water where the car was found was only about 3.6 meters deep, not much deeper than a swimming pool. Over the years, lots of boats and people passed right above it, but the muddy water kept the car hidden. The car was only about 12 kilometers from Erin's home. But because the missing person report was missed, their family spent 21 years not knowing what happened. Erin and Jeremy were finally returned to their families after 21 years. Their families held a funeral for them. After the media left, Erin's father, Cecil, gave an interview.
Me and my son have fished over it many times since she's been missing. I mean, right over the car. But, you know, water's always real murky right there. And, I mean, there's no way we could saw, you know, the car anyway, I don't think.
He said finding his daughter's car felt like a dream. He and his son Will had fished on that river many times and even gone over the car, but the water was always too muddy to see it. He said they felt some relief, but it was still painful. He even wished his daughter had never been found so they could still believe she was alive. Jeremy's dad, Ronnie, told the media he felt some comfort because there was finally closure. He could finally bury his son and believed Jeremy would be with his mom and in God's care. When Sheriff Page was asked if he wanted to say anything to people upset with the investigation.
What do you say to those folks who say those guys dropped the ball?
We're all human. We all make mistakes. Best we can do is learn from those mistakes and just keep moving forward.
Sheriff Page said, "We're all human and we make mistakes. We tried everything to find them, but they were right in front of us the whole time. That was the hardest part. The truth was simple, but all the rumors and scary stories over the years made it hard to see. What matters now is that these two teenage friends can finally be at peace after 21 years."